Three shots, four par, I just do two. One putt, par four, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par five, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into. Start right, good line, good view. It drew, shooter McGavin.
So Brycer's our gear guy, Brady. If we're talking gear, Brycer's more of our gear guy for sure. So
nice.
Yeah, you guys can kind of bounce some stuff off. Brady's got a pod too. Can we kick it off, Brady? Can you give us like a little intro onto to your guys' pod, and then anybody who's listening that gives up on us, we'll have some information. Then go over and check yours out as well.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good.
Go ahead, man. Take us in. You're a podcaster. You can just you can do the intro for us. Bryce and I are just gonna take this one off.
Yeah, we're pretty. We try to keep the least editing as possible.
Yeah.
Puts a lot of time. So the least editing we can, the better.
Well, we were talking about Bryce, before you hopped on, we were talking about like a program that Brady uses that's like it's all AI stuff now, and I'm starting to use those ones for like reels and stuff too.
It just does it all itself.
Yeah, we gotta find some of those.
It's awesome. So easy. Yeah.
Nice. That'll be the next little purchase, I guess, for us. But yeah, all right, let's jump in. Episode 172. That part's probably in there anyway. Brady's going to tell us all about their pod to start us off. So if you get bored of us at any point, you know where to go check out their pod as well, because that's kind of the idea. Is you can learn a lot on theirs. You guys do a lot of club fitting and stuff like that. So why don't you give us a little introduction, kind of maybe your pod, what you're doing in the golf space, Brady?
Yeah, for sure. So we're on Partner on Pod, and we like to focus on mainly gear topics. We're 3 club fitters. So we all work for curated.com, which is an online club fitting website. So that's how the 3 of us met, and we pretty much try to test out everything on the market and talk about that. Most of our fittings are virtual, so it's kind of cool if we can connect with our golfers through podcasts, also in a virtual manner. It's kind of a unique situation that we're in because we don't see a lot of our golfers in person. It's a lot of phone calls, texting, videos, and now podcasts. So it's been pretty fun. We started about a year ago, so we're just kind of still getting our feet on the ground. We haven't had any guests yet, but that's the next thing on our docket, where we're going to start inviting other fitters and manufacturers and other people in the gear world just to chat about some clubs, and that's our favorite thing to do. So we're loving it. It's fun.
Well, as some of the listeners know, I don't do too much research pre-episode. Sometimes I come in on a blank slate, and kind of that's how this one is. So I got a lot of questions on that topic about how you guys do the online. That sounds really fantastic, but I'm sure we'll get into that here shortly.
So Brady, we got connected. Anybody who's maybe watching this one on YouTube, I'm kind of messing with the videos and stuff, so I'm sorry. But how we got connected was through Jake, who does some club fitting. Kind of does it like he's like a gear. Well, you're called the club expert on Instagram, so he's not the club expert, that's for sure. But he does a little bit of everything, right? So like, can you kind of like explain maybe like what your day to day looks like right now, like in the club fitting world? Like what's your space? Like I kind of like Bryce, I'm kind of curious how you go through like the pods or the virtual calls and whatnot with people. But can you kind of give us like your idea of like what your day might look like right now?
Yeah, for sure. So kind of interesting background. I went to school for biomedical engineering. So by day, 9 to 5, I'm a quality engineer at a medical device company. And then I do club fittings as my side job. I'm trying to kind of grow my business and stuff. And so curated.com, like I said, it's an online website where people come to us to get fit. So I hop on, I get if a golfer comes to the website while I'm on, they're my customer from that point on. And then just kind of chat through what they're currently playing, what they're looking for, what their golf needs are. And it usually entails a long text conversation, leads into a phone call, some swing videos, some simulator data if they have any, and then do the best we can to do a virtual fitting. Obviously, there's some limitations not having the golfer in front of us, but there's also a ton of possibility because like tonight I was doing fittings from 3 to 7, and I had a customer in New York. I had like 3 in Florida. I had 1 in California. I had 1 in Montana. So my golfers are all over the place, which is awesome. So I'm not limited to just talking to someone locally. And I've fit over, I think, almost 4,000 people now on virtually. So It's unique, and I think like you're either on the board like, oh, virtual fittings never work, or you're open to that, and it's definitely possible to get fit virtually. You got to work with what you have and work around some logistical issues, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So
Can I get into this back real quick and ask a
yeah.
couple questions? Okay, I've never heard of this, first of all. I've never heard of the virtual fitting. So, are you pretty
Yeah.
much just using your knowledge of visuals, like watching people swing, watching their mechanics, and then also, like you said, if you get some simulator numbers, kind of matching those up, and then going to like a shaft wall and saying, okay, this shaft, like 5 of these shafts will, in theory, fix this or help this guy swing just by looking at mechanics and numbers. You can, that with your knowledge, you can kind of put that together.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's a lot of talking about what they're currently using and what that gear's doing and not doing for them. So I use my knowledge of, it's a driver that doesn't exactly fit their specs. They need something that spins a little bit more. The shaft is way too heavy for them. They need a lighter shaft. And then yeah, working them into a new setup, and with it being all virtual, we do have a 14-day trial period where we fit someone, and then we stand by that fitting. So once the player has the club, they have 2 weeks to test it out, and if it doesn't work, they send it back and get them into something new. But of doing a lot of fittings, figuring out what each golfer is going to need, but a lot of it is working off of what they play now, and what they're looking for in their new setup. And that's kind of the advantage, right? Because if you're in a simulator, sometimes the sim's juiced, or a person's having a super bad day and just doesn't have their swing that day, and so the fittings can go sideways that way, and where we don't have that obstacle virtually.
So I guess like it sounds, Brady, like the good thing about that is you're gonna get their best data, right? They're gonna want to show you their best data. They're gonna want to show you like the when they perform the best, which is going to be able to give you the best information, I guess, to fit them in. Are you working with like any brand specifically, or like do you have a recommendation? Like if a player is like, for instance, if I come in there and I kind of go through my bag and whatnot, and I'm
Yeah.
hitting something like, are you just fitting me into whatever specs you think are going to work? Like, because you're not getting to see like that interaction with me hitting a specific
Yeah.
iron in front of you, right? So how do you
Yeah.
how do you kind of combat that, so to speak?
Yeah, that's a limitation. Luckily, through Curated, we have access to almost all the major brands.
Nice.
Ping is pretty much the only one that we don't have, but we have Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, Cobra, Cleveland, Strixon. So we have almost all the major brands, and there's usually something to work with those offerings. And then once I get a player dialed in, figure out what they're going to need, we have access to like all the shafts that company has. So everything is either through our warehouse or through the manufacturer itself. So some of the stuff we might not have like in stock, but
But
it comes through the manufacturer then.
that's cool. So typically it works as a normal fitter where you can buy clubs direct through you guys, correct? Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
New year, new you. No better way to look your best on the course than heading over to swannies.co and use the promo code SCREWS25. Swannies.co, using the promo code SCREWS25. And hey, even if the golf game is still the same this year, you're at least going to look a hell of a lot better out there. Join us in looking good at swannies.co. Yeah, that's kind of the part that I wasn't really sure about. Like if you're kind of getting like fit into it, would you just say, okay, like you've paid for your fitting, like Brycer's paid for his fitting. This is kind of your specs. This is what you'll want to go pick up. But it's kind of cool. You can kind of do it all. It's like an all-in-one shop.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that 2 week period too, because I mean, like you said, you're not getting that like hands-on experience from being at a fitter. So I mean, I'm sure you've had times where sometimes it doesn't work out. Where I mean, guys aren't out 500-600
Yeah.
bucks on a brand new driver. You know what I mean? I think that's a nice little thing to have.
It's I can confidently say it's only happened
Oh wow,
twice to
nice.
me. So
That's awesome.
out of my over 3,000 times doing fitting, I've only had two people use that 14-day
That's
play
great. I think
guarantee.
that
But
speaks highly
yeah,
to your knowledge on the game because I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shafts, and well, I'd say hundreds of
yeah,
thousands of combinations of shafts, drivers' heads, weights. That's impressive.
yeah, for sure. And like you said, Mac, it's a one-stop shop. So our fittings are free through Curated. So you don't pay for a fitting or anything. If you decide you don't want anything, it doesn't, you're not out anything at all. Just hopefully you gained a little bit of knowledge talking to us. But then if you do want something, there's not even an extra added charge or anything. Curated just takes care of us on that side. So if you go buy one off the rack, driver for $5.99 off the rack, it costs the same through us, but you get a free virtual fitting with you too.
I like that. It's kind of like Bryce. Remember we talked to Istruzi? It was like a
Yep.
it was like a coaching platform. So it's like a
Similar.
similar type of setup. It's not a fitting platform. It's just like an actual coaching platform, like a teaching platform.
But it's totally online too, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. Like it's yeah. I think actually he said it was
I
totally
believe you.
online, or
I
like you
believe
might
it
be able
is.
to book something with people local, but similar type of setup. Like it's online. You would film your swing. You guys would work through things on your swing, like share data, share different points in your golf swing and whatnot, and go like you would kind of build a plan or like a succession for your swing or like what kind of you want to work on and stuff too. And then obviously like our friends at it's called Club Champion Media, Club Champion Canada now, but like TXG, formerly TXG, like a massive platform of it's a club fitting studio. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you've talked to Mikey and Ian before.
Yep.
Had Mikey on the pod lots, and like you know they have a huge virtual platform. They don't do like a virtual fitting, but like their platform is massive with like their club testing on all the data and stuff like that too. So it's definitely something that is probably well, Bryce and I hadn't really heard of it, so it's kind of neat. And I think
I
too,
think it's
it's
great.
like it's good for a lot of people who might not maybe have the time to like drive in to go to like a specific fitter if they really want to like kind of connect with one of you guys. It's a really good platform
Yeah,
to be able to do so.
Well, it also gets rid of my biggest complaint about fitting is you're spending an extra $1,000 to $1,500 on top of buying already stupid expensive golf clubs. I mean, I feel
yeah,
like that it's what a lot of people hesitate in going to get a proper fitting. Um, I can say me included. Fitters cringe when I say this, but I've never been fit for a golf club in my life. Um, so I think that's awesome. I think people will definitely take another step into getting fit, if especially if it's low cost or free, like you said, and it'll help their game a ton.
yeah, for sure. And the low time commitment and just the
Yeah,
access, right? Like I grew
for
up in a
sure.
small town in southern Minnesota, and we didn't have any fitters, we didn't have golf shops.
Right.
So it's like if you can do it all sitting on your couch
Yep.
and talking to someone, just sitting in your house, like it saves time, it saves money. It's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like the one maybe one of the good things that's come of like our pandemic is we all kind of like learned how to like
Yeah,
pivot, or through the pandemic we all kind of like learned how to pivot and like find more efficient ways to be able to do things, whether it be like with our hobbies, our passions such as golf,
yeah,
or like actually like our jobs or day-to-day jobs, right? And then sometimes it doesn't work for everything, but there's typically like in almost any field there's been a way to kind of build like a virtual space to be able to help supplement something that's already been existing, I guess, right? So um Brady, I wanted to ask you, you said you were into uh biomedical engineering, was it?
yeah,
Yeah. So how does that
yeah. I'm
I wanted to say, like, how does that work? It's like a very different world than the golf space, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I grew up just loving to put things together and build things. And I've always been obsessed with golf ever since I could walk. And then I went to school for engineering because I love to build things. Graduated, and it was taking forever to go through the interview process of getting an engineering job. So I went to my local golf shop and applied for a job. The master fitter there said, "Yeah, we got an open spot. You're the new club builder." He taught me everything I needed to know about building clubs and fitting people, and I absolutely loved it. Like I I wanted to do that full time, but I knew I should probably use the degree that I just got in engineering. So yeah, building clubs and talking about golf gears like my passion, and then using that knowledge and that love of building things, putting it together and figuring out what's wrong with stuff. That's my engineering background and my medical device space now.
So when you say like biomedical, I think like a friend of mine used to be in this field, or she was in this field. And are you like doing any like limbs or anything like that? Do you do any like prosthetics or anything like along those lines?
Now, right now, my device is stents and coils to remove and solve aneurysms and blood clots in the brain. So
Wow.
it's a new product that gets inserted through the femoral artery in the leg, up all the way into the brain. The coil fills the aneurysm if that's what we're doing, or the stent takes out the blood clot and then pull it back out through the artery in the leg, and operation's done, and the patient goes home.
Damn, as
Yeah.
complex as the golf swing.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not even. It sounds like it might
Not
not
as.
even. Yeah, it
I'll,
might not
I'll
even be. Yeah,
I'll stick to reading tape measures.
yeah.
That's
So the reason why I wanted to ask you that is because I do have a friend who is kind of in the prosthetic space, and then last week we had on Todd Kierstead. So up here, Paragolf Canada is what's Paragolf Canada? It's like essentially like a department for golfers with disabilities or not
Oh,
able
nice.
not able-bodied golfers or able-minded golfers. And so that's what I was kind of asking you, because I wondered if you were able to like blend those two things at all, like those kind of two passions, and if that would have crossed your plate at all. It sounds like it maybe hasn't yet, but I'm kind of curious always to like the different developments and stuff. And when Todd and I were kind of talking after the pod a little bit about some of the things in the golf space, we're lucky enough here, like up in Canada, to have like the world champ here. Bryce and I have talked to him before. His name's Jesse Florkowski. He shoots like he's like a plus like 3 or something. He shoots like 6 under, 7 under.
got one arm.
He's got one arm and hits a ball 340. It's like wild, man. It's just crazy. So,
Wow.
it's always just kind of cool to see like
That is so cool.
yeah, the different worlds and like how they connect. And just if like you would ever consider like trying to develop something like, you know, in your professional world, not that the golf space is in your professional world, but like to blend the two. I think that
Yeah,
would be
like
that'd
to
be
build
pretty cool.
something that can relate to golf, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Hopefully one day down the pipeline that happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely hopefully giving you some ideas here. So
Yeah.
when you guys are fitting like a new client, can you kind of walk us through the process? You know, treat Bryce here like as a brand new client, kind of connecting with you. Can you kind of walk us through the process when they either connect with you on the website? Just like always, we're gonna link the website and stuff in the show notes. We'll link Brady's handle in the show notes and stuff like that, so you can go check it out to get some more details. But can you give us like the idea? Use Bryce as an example. What he would kind of go through, booking a fitting kind of from front to back.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. So Bryce has never been fit before, so we're
Nope.
we're fixing that right now.
Yeah.
So is there a club in your
Bryce
bag?
is being fit right now.
We're being fit.
We're
This
doing
is
it.
first time ever live.
Yeah, we're doing a virtual fitting with Bryce right now. Love it.
Is there anything in your bag that you're thinking about replacing, Bryce?
The only thing that irons are my big one because I
Okay.
play. So I do have a pretty good understanding of how golf clubs work and irons and shafts and stuff, and I swing it really hard and I use a stiff flex shaft, and I mean I've used my same irons for 8 years, so I kind of know what they're going to do now, but I feel like I lose a lot of control because my shaft is so far behind me all the time.
Okay. So what are the heads that you're using?
I have the Ping i200s for like the original i200s, and then just the AMT stiff stock shafts in them.
Is that the white shaft?
No,
AMT white.
they have a blue logo. I don't know I don't know.
Okay. What's your 150 club in that iron set?
My pitching wedge.
Okay. Yeah, so and your typical shot shape?
With those I hit a high cut.
High cut. Is that what you hit with your driver too?
It is, but my driver is way too spinny and I lose a lot of distance. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, that's my shot shape.
Well, we got some work to do, Bryce.
Oh yeah, I make it work though. I make it work.
All right, good. So a high cut is your shot shape, but what do you have like a miss? Is a pull or a
It's
slice?
It's just an overcooked fade, like a slice. Yeah, it keeps going. Yeah.
Okay. And um, what what kind of scores are you shooting right now?
Mac chuckled. So my handicap's down to 0.5.
Bryce, you cut out on me.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yep.
So Mac chuckled because I can be pretty inconsistent, but
there's a lot of variance in Bryce's
there's a lot of
game.
variance. My handicap's down to 0.5 right now. I shot. I'll give you an example of 3 rounds in a row last year. I shot 66, 72, 92. Those are 3 rounds in a row.
Okay, where are the strokes being lost in any particular area? Driver, irons, wedges, or putter?
Everyone knows putter, but mostly short game wedges and putter.
Okay, so your irons are pretty solid then if you're a 0.5 handy.
Yeah, they're good. I want them to be better, I guess is all I'm saying.
Okay. And then for priorities wise, forgiveness, distance, sound, feel, and looks, what would you prioritize?
I'm a big looks guy. If it doesn't look good, I don't want to hit it. So looks and I guess workability. I want to be able to like hit a draw and hit a fade on command when sometimes I struggle with that. But like I also don't know if I'm ready for a blade. Like I don't know if I'm consistent. I don't play. I only play like I don't know 20 times a summer. I don't get out as much as I should. So I'd rather not hit blades. I'd rather hit. I'm looking at like CBs or kind of maybe one step like the Ping I 200s kind of.
For sure. Okay. So at this point, I kind of chatted with Bryce and talked through what he's playing, what he's looking for, some consistent parts of his game and what needs improved. So I would like some swing videos and any data that Bryce would have, and then a couple measurements. We do wrist to floor to make sure that we get the right length and lie angle. But besides that, it's if Bryce doesn't have any brand preferences or anything, I would ask that, but then send over my recommendations. It comes in we call it a curation, curated.com. We call it a curation, and it's usually 2 or 3 options with the specs that I would line up for Bryce. So my top option, what I think that you should try out is going to be the new Callaway Apex Pros. They're the pros or the CBs. So they're one step up from a blade or the CBs, and then the pros, they're a little bit more hollow body design, but still let you work it and have that forgiveness that you need. But probably Bryce, Apex Pros, X100s, something a little bit stiffer and more stable and a little lower spinning, lower launching. So that'd be my fitting for Bryce. And you've been fit now.
Perfect. Look at
that. Yeah, we can say it. We can say it. That's Mac here for Manscaped. Gentlemen, our friends over at Manscaped have been working night and day to bring you a below-the-waist grooming experience like none other with their brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We're talking about a next-generation trimmer with interchangeable blade heads for whatever shave a mind can imagine. AI is cool, but I think this might be the best technology advancement the world has ever seen. Upgrade your grooming game to the Ultrasphere this year by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping using the promo code OTSGolf High Tech for low prices. Manscaped OTS Golf for 20% off plus free shipping. We'll see you in the Ultrasphere.
Do you do full bag fits always, or do you sometimes only do like wedges and irons, or is that customer preference?
Yeah. Whatever the customer comes to us for. So sometimes it's just a driver, sometimes it's just a gap wedge, sometimes it's everything in between, and the bag and the glove and the shoes. So we can get accessories too. So yeah, pretty much anything the golfer needs.
That's awesome.
So when you go on the site, like I'm just kind of like looking through the site right now, like you hit the shop with the real expert link. So we might not necessarily get you specifically, Brady. Is that right?
Yeah. So anybody that comes to the site gets paired with an expert. And if like you're talking to me, or if I meet somebody at the golf course, I shoot them my link I'll give it to you guys so you can link it to the pod, and then anybody that clicks on that will get connected directly to me.
Nice.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
you can go either way. Curated.com is a random expert, and then we have personal links that put you right straight to us too.
I like that too, because like you said, if somebody's like listening to the pod and they're like, oh, I want to kind of like check that out, there'd be a way that we could get them like in touch with you to kind of connect with you.
Yeah.
Because you gotta like your fitter too, right? Like Mike said that to us so many times before. We had Patty on from Club Champion Media or TXG, and you know he's talked about how people like kind of come in there and then they get to know the fitter and then they like trust them and then they want to go back, right? And then you shoot 92 and then you don't trust your fitter anymore and you want to try and find somebody else so you can go go onto a different site, right? But you know,
at least I've only fit myself, so I'm the only one to blame.
Yeah, well, and like we at least have kind of like an idea now, and I like the I like the idea where you can kind of go through some info, find some data. Obviously, you guys might be able to get into, if Bryce and I were able to go down to our friends at Uptown Golf in Oshawa, you should go check that place out because it's a good spot. We host pods there sometimes. But if you're able to kind of go down there and get some details of, you know, your swing, your spin rates, your misses and stuff like that, it's only going to be able to give you more information, right? We talked about that with Todd kind of last week teaching down there, and just all of like the numbers and the real time like information that we can get right now to kind of like really dial in your swing or just really like disturb yourself with how bad things are maybe going. Because
also, just to add on to that too, even if there are people out there like me that think they know a bunch about golf that probably don't, but if you know enough to like kind of fit yourself, it can't hurt to ask questions and learn a little more, and maybe you're wrong about a few things and get that fixed up with these guys here. So
yeah, absolutely.
So Brady, you got a favorite color? I know we got to work this one in here for Jake. Thanks for the introduction, Jake. He says, "We'll ask
my
Brady."
Logo.
It's
orange. It's orange.
The orange. Okay, so why is that your favorite color? That's because it's in the logo. When did that become your favorite color? So we're gonna cover all these right now for you, Jake. So Jake's a good friend of the pod. Obviously, you guys probably have checked out our pods with Made for the Range. Jake makes like A1 quality videos and stuff too. So if you're kind of a gearhead, this is becoming kind of more my world, but it's definitely Bryce's. Jake's is a good spot to go check out, like for sure too, man. His stuff, what he's doing is really cool. And you guys met down at just like kind of recently. You said down at like a Callaway show.
Yeah, we were at Callaway Media Day down at their ECPC and just randomly ran into each other. We've been talking on Instagram briefly, and we recognize each other and just kind of hit it off. But yeah, Jake's an awesome guy. Made for the Range is some sweet content for anybody who's like, he has some sweet information, some really helpful stuff.
Yeah, I like how he's kind of doing everything. And you mentioned how you would fit into like even the golf glove or the shoe or anything like that. He did like the 18-hole golf book. I know he's doing like work with like soft spikes and stuff like that, which is really cool too. And kind of touching on like all the different parts of golf, because I think the gear is like one thing, but we don't think about, and this is something that we hear. We've had a couple shoe companies on and stuff like that, and we'll talk about like the specifics of the golf shoe, and we'll kind of get into that and like how that can like really change things in people's golf swings, whether it be just like a bit more stability or whatever it may be. But I kind of like how he's able to cover a lot of that, and it sounds like you guys are able to cover a lot of that too. Is there something, Brady, that you see more of, like when somebody comes onto the site and they kind of get in contact with you? Is there like a usual thing, like it's probably going to be the driver, but is there like a usual thing that somebody wants to fix in their game or that they're typically touching on in their game with you?
Yeah, on our website, it's mainly players getting into the game. So we do a lot of kind of first timer sets, right? Like players who don't really know where to start looking. That's our usual golfer that comes to us. So it's usually a full set, something that's good for players getting into the game and super forgiving and easy to hit. But besides that, everyone else, the people who are shooting 60s, 70s, 80s, they're usually looking to upgrade the newest driver. Like Bryce, a lot of people play older irons that they're comfortable with, and there's not as much tech advances in those. So driver, besides beginner sets and getting them into the game with their first clubs to help them, is driver for sure. Yeah,
I like that because like it sounds like a really great non-intimidating place for new golfers.
Oh, I'm all in on this. I think this is great.
Yeah, like if you're like a lot of my buddies who are like kind of new to the game and stuff like that, if they wanted to, you know, it's unfortunate. Like a lot of them are just like, I want to get the TaylorMade like 770s or whatever it is because they see them. It's the most marketed iron or one of the most marketed irons, so like they kind of fall in love with that. Where like it sounds like this might be a really encouraging place for them to start because they'll learn a little bit about their golf swing and then they'll also be able to like get some details about it and like what actually might help them a little bit more, which I think is a nice spot for newer golfers to start.
I also think it could be a little intimidating too when golfers are just coming into the game and have to go in person to a fit and kind of oh, I'm not that great, but I have to show this guy my game and it's not great. Like it can be kind of intimidating. I feel like it's a lot easier to sit at home on a screen on like behind a camera and do it instead of being in person. I feel like it's a lot less intimidating.
Yeah, we get that a lot. There's a lot of my golfers that tell me that too. They're like, I didn't want to go into the store. I didn't want to swing in front of someone. So that's a big part of it too, Bryce.
Yeah, Patty said that. Like he referenced that a couple times at how, you know, you're kind of just encouraging golfers to like come in, do your thing, and like take it easy.
No one's gonna judge you.
Yeah, no one's like here to kind of judge. They're just here to like make it better. So, do you find like when you're asking for swing videos, obviously like, so Bryce has kind of gone through his library. He's gonna give you like, are you wanting him to give you his best swing videos, or are you wanting him to just like run the camera for a few minutes, take 10 cuts, and then just like show you kind of how it looks and maybe what some of the misses are too?
Yeah, usually my main preference is that it's the most recent one.
Okay.
You know, nothing from the beginning of the year or last year. But yeah, it's usually a couple either 7 or 6 irons from down the line and then face on, and then driver, same thing, down the line and then from the face on, so I can see kind of have a better idea of what the club's doing. So recent ones and then a couple different angles is always helpful too.
I know some fitters will kind of get not hugely into it, but very minorly into swing changes with people to help them kind of fit their game a little better with the irons that they're being put into. Do you ever get into that? It's like a little bit of swing changes, or do you guys strictly kind of straight towards the club aspect of it?
Only if they ask.
Okay. Okay.
I'm never gonna give advice. Even if I see something and if I want to say something, if they ask, I'll help them out. And it's usually after they get the clubs that it's the most beneficial, because otherwise they start changing things up with the clubs they're using, then get into new clubs, and then it's just all a cluster in the head. So
yeah, I could definitely see that, and like that would be something where if you know you're just kind of like you're on a site, you're kind of talking to somebody, and like as soon as they give you some info, it could be a lot to download, I think, to try and like,
for sure,
you know, because then you might try and do something different that's not in the video. I think they're the videos that they send you, and that could really change some things, right? Like shit, like taking off a sweater changes a lot for me in my golf game. Like if I start the video with a sweater on and then I take the sweater off, like I probably have to just run the camera again with the t-shirt on, because that's going to completely like change my game. Like I'm a nutso, man. I think like all these little things are gonna really change the game, but they don't. But I got some like really good advice from like Todd and stuff last week, man. Fitters are like you know, just coaches in general, like teachers of the game, people that are into the game are just good to like talk with, man. It's always nice to like talk with other golf heads and like just have conversations about it and whatnot. I had this thought. Do you guys do any putter? Like, would you do any putter fitting? Is there a way for you to do any?
Yeah, it's a little more challenging, but swing videos, same thing, and figuring out what they're currently using. A lot of players, they're not sure like what even the length of their putter is, so that's another obstacle, is showing them how to properly measure the putter, figure out what they're currently using.
One too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So getting them into the correct head shape, the correct hosel, and then the length. So yeah, we do those, and I just need more information as a fitter when we do those, but definitely possible.
Cool.
What about the golf ball, Brady? You guys try to like? I know that's kind of something that's become a lot more talked about. Is that something that, especially Lexi just signed with Maxfly, which is pretty cool? Is that something you guys are doing a little bit of as well?
Yep, we do balls. At that point, that's kind of the last point of the fitting where I have a ton of information about you at that point and can fit you into the right ball or the right category of ball and give you a few different options to pick from too.
Mac, I don't know where you're going with that, but you're not getting into my Kirkland, buddy. You're not getting me away from it.
No, man, check this out. Where are they? Oh, they're not there anymore. Where'd I move them? They're down here. I was like walking through the other day, and I just grabbed these. I was like, "What are these?" It's like I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know. It's hard not to. You look at a golf ball; it's like a buck a ball. It's just like whatever.
You want to see my new thing? I'm getting older. I'll be 27 this year, so I think I'm going to the old yellows.
I have not seen those. That is like
I didn't see them either. I was at Costco the other day and saw them, and I was like, yellow? Oh,
that is like a green ball. So at the start of each year, Brady, this is where it comes from. For me, I tell myself I'm going to work on my short game a lot. My short game is like always like pretty tight. But the last 2 years in a row, I've started off with like really bad yips. Like when Tiger came back, like that bad. And so I tell myself like I'm going to work my short game, stuff like that. So I grab like a 24 pack of those, toss them in a Crown Royal bag or whatever it is, and I walk out to like 60 yards, whatever it is, and hit a bunch of shots. And then I go in the bunker, hit a bunch of shots, and you just like chew the shit out of the golf ball. So I get Kirkland to do that. And we've talked about how we need Kirkland to sponsor the pod. I don't play a Kirkland when I play. I typically do play the Srixon XV. But the Kirkland ball, like when you're just like hitting 50, 60, 70, 80 bunker shots, it's a great ball to hit. Like it's just
I shot 66 of it last year. What do you mean? It's a fantastic ball.
Yeah, it's there, man. It can shoot a 66. Somebody's probably even shot lower than that.
These things are green.
Yeah, that's a green golf ball.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked. This is the first time looking at them.
I need one for the rack.
Buck, you can't beat it.
I don't think I have a green ball up there. I got a blue ball and a black one, but I do not have a green one. So
no green ones.
Oh, look at that.
I got another rack started. I just don't have it up on the wall, so I definitely have to get I got to get a green one. Maybe you can sign that one for me, Bryce, and we can
we haven't talked about hole-in-ones yet. Are all those balls hole-in-ones? Please tell me that. That'd be awesome.
I wish I had one.
I got a hole-in-one ball up there and two eagles. I got two eagle 2s. No eagle 3s.
Nice.
I don't keep an eagle 3.
My hole-in-one ball and my 66 ball just sit in my bag all the time.
Yeah, that's dangerous, man.
I'm hoping it funnels down to where I keep my balls, and I just got something going. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of started collecting like different courses. Are the ones in behind you from courses, Brady?
Yeah, and I haven't done it in a long time. Those I had all collected when I was in high school, just traveling around playing high school golf, and I collected all those, and they've kind of just stayed there. I haven't really collected any new ones lately, so I should probably switch them out. I do have another rack somewhere though, so
yeah, that's what I have. Is like
I can double up on both sides of the monitor.
I have the second rack, and then I'm at the point now where I need one more. Like I need to get another rack because I'm like I'll go through and I'll be like, that course is like I'm gonna put this one in. It's so stupid. But then
that's why I do the divot tools because I can just have a million of them if I want.
Yeah, like we got.
Yeah, and something I'm gonna start doing this year is collecting the pencils. I'm gonna make a pencil holder or a pencil rack too. Those are cool.
See, that's not a big thing in Canada. It's not that big. It's not big up here. Like
a lot of the pencils are just like the yellow number 2 style pencils. Like
where you're getting like some crappy plastic one or something is really tough. But like, yeah. So I've kind of stuck with the balls because pretty much every place has them. And then like we've talked with, I got one from Black Muscle Golf up there. My friend Sean Lindo from Black Muscle Golf, and then we got a blue balls one up there, one of the light up blue balls one. I got some from Triple Bogey and stuff. I'm just trying to see what else is up there. One from I snagged one from Puttery at the in Chicago. So where Jake's from. I probably shouldn't say that, but I stuck my hand down the hole and grabbed one before I left. So it's kind of cool.
Out of all the balls up there, I've played them all except this one. I've been there, so I grabbed it. But I've played every other. so I got my Masters ball. But
did you go to
the course I gotta play?
Did you go to like a Masters event?
Yeah, 09.
09, okay. Refresh us on 09. Where were we at in 09?
Was that
Louis? Was that Louis?
That's what I was gonna say.
No, that was
you were there.
Okay. Yeah, and he's back now too. But yeah, man, it's that's a pretty cool golf ball to have. So if anybody isn't listening or watching this on YouTube, it was a Masters golf ball, which is pretty sweet. I definitely don't have one of those. So I've got some pretty cool ones up there, and last year I got Mike Weir to sign one too, so that was kind of neat. So
that's awesome.
Mike Weir is kind of our Canadian legend up here, as I'm sure you know. So as of won the Masters in 03, which is widely known up here for sure. Almost got one of his replica putters the other day, Bryce. Almost got it off a marketplace. I saw it come up, and the guy was like, I think he was just like, somebody else just messaged me, and I was like, I'll come right now. Come pick it up. Like, I don't care. I don't care really what the cost is.
What is it?
It's like his Scotty. Like they made a certain amount, like 500 or 1,000 replicas after. Made to the exact same specs, and he had it up for like a very reasonable price, like just a little bit more than you'd pay for like an actual Scotty, and just missed out on it, unfortunately. That'd be a pretty cool one for the collection for sure. But I guess awesome. Yeah, I should say. Hold on one sec here, boy.
Are you a big tinker too? You have access. Sorry, Mac. Hold on. Yeah. You got access to a bunch of stuff. Do you kind of tinker around and have something new in the bag?
Yeah, it's dangerous. Access to the clubs. Yeah, like those are the putters that I rotate through. I got all my drivers over here, so yeah, we got clubs that make the rotation regularly, and it's a little bit dangerous. I'm gonna try to fix that this year and try to keep something in the bag a little bit longer than normal. But
yeah, I feel like a lot of club fitters end up saying that. They're like, I just have too much stuff and I want to use it all, but it just makes my game worse because there's no consistency. I'd be in the same boat though. I don't blame you one bit. I'd be right there beside you.
Do you have anything that's like stood with you for a little while?
My putter. I use my putter it's the Scotty Newport from like 2008 or something.
Okay.
So I rotate other ones in and out, but that one is always the one that comes back to me. As far as drivers and woods go, I try to play like the newest stuff, and just so like when I'm on the course, I can talk to people about it.
Right.
And when I'm fitting people, like I play it or I've played it, and wedges I try to refresh every year, and irons are kind of, I used to play the Cobra King MBs, the Ricky ones, and I played those for like 10 years or something.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so sick, and I just switched to the Titleist MBs, but I might go back to those Cobras because the blacked out is just, it's too cool.
You gotta get the copper ones, man. Those things are just
they're so so thin.
So good. I'm pretty sure they're like $4,000 though for a set of them, aren't they, or more maybe? I'm pretty sure
they're not cheap.
Stupid expensive.
Yeah, they're definitely not cheap.
Are you a believer in keeping shafts? So say you get the newer head or whatever. Do you usually keep your same shaft, or are you completely refitting it?
I usually keep the same shaft.
Okay.
I try to, and that's something that I tried to do better this year. Is because in the last like year I've kind of gotten more access to them too. So where I can have the same shaft in my Callaway, Titleist, Cobra. I can have the same shaft like with each adapter on it, so that when I test them, it's more consistent data.
Yeah.
And if I want to switch something out, it's more consistent. Like I'm not switching everything; I'm just switching the head. So I love to keep. I find a shaft that I like, and I try to keep that for as much as I can. Even irons too. If I'm rotating irons, I try to keep the same shaft in those.
I mean, it's arguably the most important part of the club, no?
Yeah. The guy that trained me that I was telling you about, like originally, he gave a great analogy. Is that the head of the club is like the body of the car, but then the shaft is like the engine. So you can't do anything without that shaft.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that is a really good analogy. I was saying this is you guys can see it there. I'll make sure you get in the middle. So this is what I played in like high school, the number 9. So I rolled this thing forever.
Not the one with the dead face?
Yeah, it's just dead now. It's like I've hit it. I've hit 3 million putts with this, but it's this big now.
Yeah, through Jameson.
I made it for my little guy, so it's literally like you can fit in the Zoom screen. So it's called the little toe hang, because it's like it's like completely just toe hang, like it's wild. But he smacks it around, hits it on the practice mat, and hits the drywall and stuff with it. So yeah, it's been good so far.
Right off the tile.
I'm now a club builder though. Took the angle grinder to it, chopped it up, and Yeah,
there you go.
It's works pretty good.
There you go.
Works pretty good. I was the same way though with the putter. That's why I asked you that question, because like the putters are the hard ones to kind of get out of the bag when you get some confidence with them. And like I've rolled, I've rolled the 2011 Del Mar. It was like I can't remember what it was like. It was like a honey dip or something it was called. And I've rolled that up until last year. I got a Lowy. We got a friend, Tyler Lowy of the pod. I don't know if you know Tyler Lowy, but his putters are like, he hand mills putters, man. Like for real, actually.
Oh, so cool.
No CNC.
Yeah.
No CNC. It's all by hand.
All by hand, man. So it's like
That's
wild.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
cool.
It's so cool. And shout out to AJ. I just picked up a new cover from Pioneer Golf. So these are so cool. This is like the barn.
Oh, I saw those. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just did it all black because the putter I got from Lowy's black. So the stability shaft, and then this is like the putter here, which is so cool, man. Like this is all done by hand.
Amazing.
All done by hand.
He's so talented, man.
So good, man. So Tyler Lowy,
when we had him on, we tell the story all the time. We had him on. We kind of we didn't really know exactly totally about him, so like he kind of like was explaining how the process, and he was like, yeah, like I get him on the lathe and like and get to work grinding. And me and Mac were just kind of like, we didn't know what to say because we weren't expecting that. I think I was just like, my jaw hit the floor, and I was like, wait, you hand mill them or you put them in a CNC machine? He's like, no, I hand mill them
on a Bridgeport.
Holy.
Yeah, so like on a big, like on just a big old Bridgeport, man, which is
big lathe. Yeah.
I got to get down there and check it out. When I picked that up, it was a really, really cool thing. Really cool thing to see. So if you ever like want to talk putters and stuff like that, he's a guy to chat with. It was a lot of fun to kind of chat with him. He's pretty cool, man. But yeah, like it was cool too. He's got like a little putter fitting studio in his place too. So we could like tweak a couple things in my stroke, and then it was kind of like you talked about. Like we had a conversation for like, well, him and I became pretty good friends, but like you probably talk to him for 45 minutes, kind of go through half an hour, 45 minutes, kind of go through your putter, what you're playing now, the shape, all of the different things, shaft, grip, and you know, if you know like any swing weights or like toe hang and stuff like that, you know any like of the details of it, and he'll pretty much build it to your exact specs, which is really cool. So as a fitter, I'm sure you like that. Yeah, really, really cool stuff too. But yeah, this was great, Brady. Really appreciate you taking the time, man. Hopefully we didn't take too much. I know you guys usually do 45 minutes to an hour, so hopefully that was okay with you. Again, if you're still checking us out at this point, Brady is a co-host of a podcast, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
we're on the Par None podcast, and then the Golf Expert on Instagram.
Love that, man. So again, it's down in the show notes below, so please go down, click it, go over, check him out, check out some of his work, and if you like kind of our chats about gear, any of the guests that we've had on, you'll like their stuff, and go over. I'll put the website in too, so people can kind of go browse around. And if you've ever been intimidated with the golf fitting experience, you just listen to Bryce get fit. So go over and check it out. Pretty easy stuff.
I'm really intimidated too, so it was really easy for me.
That was great, Brady. Thanks so much, man. Love this.
Awesome. Yeah. Yep. Thanks, guys.
He's out in my ball in the course, so I tee up. I lose a ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross. Worst case scenario.